into a roaring crowd as fireworks explode over the stage, kicking off the first episode of Riot after the unforgettable spectacular that was Riotfest. Welcome to Wednesday Night Riot. We are just days removed from the most historic event in Renegade Wrestling history, Riotfest. And what a night it was. Owen Hart shocked the world when he made Stone Cold Steve Austin pass out in the sharpshooter to become the new Renegade World Champion. Sting buried The Undertaker alive in a war for the ages. The Outsiders left as double champions. Randy Orton survived the Iron Survivor Challenge. And Booker T overcame the odds to dethrone Triple H for the National Championship. But controversy was everywhere, from Sonny's shocking arrival to Abyss leaving Kane in a pile of rubble. And the fallout begins tonight. The highlights from Riotfest flash across the screen. Tonight, it's a Riotfest rematch as Booker T defends the national championship against Triple H. The Hardys take on America's Most Wanted in a tag team action. Plus, we will hear from the new Renegade World Champion himself, Owen Hart. And if you thought Abyss's arrival at Riotfest was earth-shaking, just wait, because the monster is here tonight. But first, we are kicking things off with none other than the man who built this company, the Nature Boy himself. The crowd erupts as the owner of Renegade Wrestling struts out onto the stage, dressed in an immaculate suit, soaking in the reaction as Riot officially gets underway. Ric Flair gets in the ring, microphone in hand. The fans quiet down as Nature Boy raises the mic, a smirk on his face. Woo! Riotfest was the biggest night in Renegade Wrestling history. But folks, we're just getting started. Tonight I got some major news that's gonna shake things up. Now first things first, after faithful employment and giving his absolute best to this company, Jim Cornette has decided to step away from his duties as commissioner of Riot. A mix of cheers and boos fill the arena as the crowd reacts to the announcement. Now whether you loved him or hated him, you gotta respect what Cornette did here. But as they say, when one door closes, another opens. And believe me, the man stepping in to fill Cornette's shoes is no stranger to chaos, no stranger to hardcore, and sure as hell no stranger to making history. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the new commissioner of Riot, the hardcore legend, Mick Foley. Mick Foley steps on the stage dressed in his signature flannel, a wide grin across his face. He raises a thumbs up to the fans before making his way down the ramp, rolling into the ring to embrace Flair. The Foley chants shake the arena as he takes the microphone. Man, does it feel good to be on Riot. First and foremost, I want to thank Jim Cornette for the work he put in here, and I want to thank Ric Flair for giving me this opportunity. But most of all, I want to thank every single one of you crazy SOBs in the crowd tonight, because without you, none of this is possible. The crowd roars in approval. Now, I'm not here to play favorites, and I sure as hell ain't here to make anyone's life easy. I'm here because I know what Riot represents. Unpredictability, excitement, and the absolute best wrestler on the planet. And I goddamn love it. I'm going to make sure it stays that way, starting tonight. So ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the newest signing to the Renegade Wrestling roster. The lights dim and then the crowd explodes as a massive pyro display erupts from the stage as Chris Jericho steps out, arms spread wide, smirking as he takes a deafening reaction. He struts down to the ring, soaking in every second of his arrival. He climbs the turnbuckle, arms outstretched, before hopping down and snatching the mic from Foley. The crowd erupts as Jericho paces the ring. There's a new era in Renegade Wrestling, and there's one thing I do better than anybody else. It's define an era. So let's not waste any more time. Let's not overcomplicate things, because as of this official moment, Riot is Jericho! The fans roar with approval, chanting, Jericho, Jericho, as he throws his arms out, soaking it in. I came here to steal the show. I came here to put on the greatest matches in the world. And I came here to remind every single person in the back that I am the best in the world at what I do. So to anyone back there who thinks they can hang with me, step up, because I guarantee when the dust settles, you're going to find out exactly why Riot belongs to Jericho. Mick Foley claps, nodding with approval as Ric Flair grins. Fans continue chanting Y2J as he raises his arms, standing tall in the center of the ring. Are you kidding me? Chris Jericho is here. Mick Foley's the new commissioner. Riot just changed forever, and we're only getting started. Jericho poses one last time on the turnbuckle as the show fades commercial, the era of Riot under Mick Foley officially beginning. The arena plunges into darkness as a chilling red glow bathes the stage. Bearer himself emerges from the curtain, clutching his urn close to his chest, with a sinister grin stretched across his pale face. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is a 2-on-1 handicap match. Introducing first, accompanied by Paul Bearer from the depths of hell, weighing in at 350 pounds, Abyss. Through the mist, a hulking shadow looms behind Bearer. Abyss steps into the light, his massive frame covered in scars, his black mask is concealing whatever twisted expression lies beneath. He stomps his way towards the ring, his presence alone enough to drain the color from the faces of his opponents, already winning inside. This is a monster, folks, a walking nightmare. And after what he did at Riotfest, after putting Kane through the stage, unmasking him, and leaving him for dead, I don't even want to think about what's in store for these two poor souls in the ring right now. Inside the ring, the two local competitors, Mike Sanders and Tony Stevens, watch nervously as Abyss steps over the ropes with frightening ease. They exchange a quick glance, both realizing they've made a terrible mistake. And his opponents, already in the ring, Mike Sanders and Tony Stevens. The bell rings and both men charge Abyss at once, desperately trying to gain an advantage. Sanders throws a forearm to Abyss's jaw, nothing. Steven connects with a drop kick, nothing. Another shot from Sanders, another from Stevens, still nothing. Oh man, oh boy, these two are about to get sent to the morgue. Abyss suddenly lunges forward, nearly taking Sanders' head off with a clothesline. Steven goes to charge in, but Abyss turns him inside out with a big boot. Paul Bearer crackles on the outside. Yes, my son, destroy them! Sanders struggles to get to his feet, but Abyss wraps a huge hand around his throat and lifts him high into the air. With a violent choke slam, Sanders' body bounces off the mat like he's been hit by a truck. Good lord, this is a match. This is a straight up massacre. Steven, in pure desperation, rushes Abyss from behind. But Abyss catches him, flips him up, and drills him with that shock treatment. Just call it, ref. These guys aren't wrestlers anymore. They're victims. But Abyss isn't done. He drags the lifeless Stevens up one more time and spins him into that black hole slam. The force of the impact rattles the ring as Paul Bearer laughs. Abyss places one massive hand on Stevens' chest. 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding, ding. Here is your winner, Abyss. The bell rings, but the horror isn't over. Abyss slowly turns his head towards Sanders, who is crawling to the ropes trying to escape. The crowd gasps as Abyss steps over to him, yanks him up, and violently throws him into another black hole slam. This is just destruction for destruction's sake. Someone get security out here before Abyss ends someone's career. Paul Bearer steps to the ring, standing beside his monster. He raises the urn high above his head as Abyss kneels before him, soaking in the devastation. Oh yes, my monster, my Abyss. The world saw what he did at Riotfest. My son sent his brother straight to the depths of hell. And now Renegade Wrestling belongs to us. Oh yes. The crowd erupts in boos, but Bearer and Abyss are unfazed. The monster rises, looking around at the carnage he's left in his wake. As the fire erupts from the stage, the camera zooms in on Abyss' unblinking, soulless stare. And with that, the show fades commercial. The scene cuts to a dimly lit, luxurious locker room, where the club, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, Shawn Michaels, and Triple H are lounging, basking in their dominance. The new addition, Sunny, sits beside them, smirking as she twirls a strand of her hair. A few empty champagne bottles are scattered around, evidence of their celebration after Riotfest. Scott Hall leans forward, smirking at the camera, a championship draped over each shoulder. Hey, yo, I gotta say I'm feeling really good right now. You know why? Because at Riotfest, the Outsiders did what we always do, win. We walked in, stepped up to big time, and left with all the gold. He taps the Renegade World Tag Team titles and the National Tag Team title with his fingers. And now the Outsiders ain't just running this place. We own it. Kevin Nash, lounging with both championship belts stacked in his laps, lets out a chuckle. Man, big time? That's a joke. Y'all thought you had us. Come on, we're the Outsiders. We changed this game before, and now we've done it again. And now, this company's tag division is ours. He adjusts the belts on his lap before grinning at Shawn Michaels, who leans forward, his cocky smirk widening. Speaking of dominance, how about the Heartbreak Kid showing the world who the real top guy is? AJ Styles, man, he thought this was his moment. He thought he was the new showstopper. That's cute, but all it took was a little distraction. He glances at Sunny, who blows him a playful kiss. And boom, sweet chin music, game over. That's what separates me from the wannabes. I don't miss. Sunny grins, running a hand down Shawn's chest. And let's be real, boys. Riot belongs to the club. We got the tag belts, we got the wins, and tonight, we're getting back some more gold. The camera shifts to Triple H, who is leaned back, cracking his knuckles. Yeah, let's talk about that. Riotfest didn't go exactly how I planned. I let Booker T slip one past me. That's on me. But tonight, tonight I give the national championship back where it belongs. Because Booker, you had your moment. You had your feel-good story. But the reality is, I'm better than you. Always have been, always will be. And tonight, I remind the world why I run this damn show. He leans forward, staring down into the camera. Booker, you got lucky at Riotfest, but tonight, luck ain't gonna save you. It's gonna be game over. The club shares cocky grins as Nash and Hall clink their belts together like champagne glasses. Hey, don't take it too personally, Booker. It's just business. Michael winks at the camera as Sonny giggles as she leans into him. In business, well, business is booming. The camera lingers on the club, cowardly smirking, knowing full well that tonight is just another step in their continued dominance. The scene fades black as we head to commercial. The camera follows Mick Foley and Ric Flair deep in conversation as they stroll through the corridors of the Renegade Arena. Foley gestures animately as he speaks with Flair, who nods along, as a smirk on his face. You know, Rick, I gotta say, Riotfest was everything I hoped it would be. Hard-hitting action, surprises, absolute carnage, and now it's time to keep that momentum going. We gotta give these fans a riot they'll never forget. Damn right, Mick. That's why I put my faith in you, pal. New stars, fresh rivalries, bigger fights. That's what Renegade Wrestling is all about. Before Foley can respond, Christian suddenly steps into frame, arms crossed, looking agitated. He shakes his head in frustration before stepping right up to the two legends. Wow. Just wow. I can't believe this. I just stood back there and watched you two go on and on about all the great moments from Riotfest. You know what? I wasn't in a single damn one of them. Foley and Flair exchange glances before looking back at Christian, who glares at them. I sat in the locker room all night at Riotfest, waiting for my name to be called. I waited, thinking that maybe, just maybe, someone would realize that a guy like me deserves better. But instead, nothing. No match, no moment, no Christian on the biggest show of the year. Tell me how that makes sense. Foley, stroking his beard, nods with a thoughtful look. You know, Christian, you make a good point. Riotfest was stacked, and a talent like you, yeah, maybe you should have been out there. But hey, here's the good news. Tonight's a new night, and I can fix that. Christian expression shifts slightly, intrigued. That's what I like to hear. So how about this? You give me a match tonight, and not just any match. I want real competition. Someone who proved that Christian deserves to be in the spotlight. Foley grins, giving Flair a knowing glance before looking back at Christian. I like your fire, man. So here's what I'll do. I'll give you that match right here tonight. Christian smirks confidently. That's what I'm talking about. Now who am I facing? Foley shrugs. Oh, you'll find out when you step in that ring tonight. Christian smirks fades slightly. Wait, what? Woo! Gotta love a good mystery, baby. Flair pats Foley on the back before walking off, while Foley flashes his signature goofy smile and gives a thumbs up to Christian before following. Christian watches them leave, shaking his head in mild annoyance before scoffing and muttering under his breath. Fine, I'll be whoever they throw at me. He turns and walks off as the camera lingers on him, the mystery of his opponent hanging in the air as we head to commercial. Back in ringside, the anticipation is high as Michael Buffer stands in the ring ready to introduce the next match. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is a tag team match scheduled for one fall. The arena erupts as the Hardy Boys make their entrance. Jeff and Matt Hardy step up onto the stage, hyping up the crowd with their signature poses before making their way down to the ramp. The energy is electric as they slide into the ring, climbing the turnbuckles and soaking the cheers from the Renegade faithful. Introducing first at a combined weight of 461 pounds, Matt and Jeff, the Hardy Boys. The Hardys are back in action. You can bet they're looking to make a statement tonight after missing out on championship gold at Riotfest. These two are always must-watch when they're in the ring. Cheers quickly shift to loud boos as America's Most Wanted arrive. James Storms and Chris Harris step onto the stage, sneering at the crowd before making their way to the ring, exuding confidence. And their opponents at a combined weight of 463 pounds, James Storm, Chris Harris, America's Most Wanted. You want to talk about a tough team? AMW is as nasty as they come. They don't care how they win as long as they get their way, and they'll do anything to get that win. The bell rings and the match gets underway with Matt Hardy and Chris Harris starting things off. They lock up, with Harris quickly taking control with a knee to the gut before backing Matt into the ropes and delivering a stiff elbow to the jaw. Harris follows it up with a snap suplex and a quick cover, but Matt kicks out at one. Harris keeps the pressure on, tagging in James Storm, who comes in with a hot tag. Comes in hot with a running boot to Matt's face. Storms taunts Jeff on the apron before whipping Matt into the ropes and going for a clothesline. But Matt ducks and counters with a bulldog. Matt crawls to his corner and makes a hot tag to Jeff Hardy. Jeff explodes in the ring, ducking a swing from Storm and taking him down with a flying forearm. Harris runs in but eats a dropkick for his trouble. Jeff rallies the crowd before hitting the Whisper in the Wind on Storm. He covers. 1, 2. No, Harris breaks up the pin at the last second. Matt rushes in, taking Harris down with a side effect. This match is broken down. We got bodies flying everywhere. Storm and Jeff are still the legal men, and they trade punches in the middle of the ring. Storm gains the advantage and goes for that Eye of the Storm, but Jeff slips out and into a roll-up. 1, 2, 3, ding, 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 and the bell rings and the crowd erupts as the Hardys steal the victory. Here are your winners, the Hardy Boys. Jeff Hardy snatched that win out of nowhere. AMW thought they had this in the bag, but the Hardys just pulled the rug out from under them. AMW is furious, storming around the ring, shouting at the referee. Meanwhile, the Hardys quickly exit, celebrating their win on the ramp, as Storm and Harris fume inside the ring. Frustration is clear on their faces, as the Hardys pose one last time before heading backstage, leaving AMW to stew in their anger. A huge win for the Hardys tonight. AMW can complain all they want, but at the end of the day, the Hardys got the job done. The camera lingers on the enraged America's Most Wanted before fading to commercial. The camera cuts to the backstage area where Maria Kanellis, the newest addition of Renegade Wrestling interview team, stands with a confident smile. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the newest signing to Wednesday Night Riot, Chris Jericho. The crowd pops as Chris Jericho steps in the frame, smirking at the camera. Chris, tonight you shocked the world by jumping ship from After Dark to Riot. What led to your decision to sign with this brand? Jericho chuckles. Maria, the truth is, After Dark was holding me back. I was suffocating in a company that didn't appreciate my talent, my charisma, or my ability to steal the damn show every single night. Over there, I was surrounded by nobodies, trying to make a name for themselves at my expense. But Riot is where the best of the best compete. This is where the real fight is. And let's face it, Riot is Jericho. The crowd pops and Jericho grins, but before Maria can ask another question, the mood suddenly shifts. A slow clap is heard off camera. The camera pans slightly to reveal Brian Pillman, the loose cannon himself, stepping into the frame, a manic grin. His wild eyes lock onto Jericho as he inches closer. Wow, Chris, what an inspiring speech. Truly, I almost shed a tear. Jericho raises an eyebrow, tilting his head. You think you left After Dark behind? You think Riot is your big fresh start? When truth is, you were fired, weren't you? Well, let me tell you something, Jumpin' Jericho. You can change brands, change logos, change whatever corporate garbage you want. But you'll never change the fact that you're just another guy, another loudmouth, another self-absorbed poser looking for validation. Jericho smirks, stepping closer, going nose to nose with Pillman. And you? Let me guess. You're still a raving lunatic who will always be second fiddle to Raven. The crowd oohs in the background. Pillman lets out a deranged chuckle, nodding. No, I'm the one thing you aren't, Chris. Unpredictable. And trust me, pal, you won't see it coming. Jericho and Pillman lock eyes, the tension thick between them. Maria takes a nervous step back as Pillman slowly backs away, flashing a sinister grin before disappearing. Jericho shakes his head, smirking. Jericho looks back at Maria, shrugs, and walks off, leaving her still visibly unsettled. The camera lingers for a moment before fading commercial. The arena erupts as the new Renegade World Champion Owen Hart arrives. The crowd is on their feet, cheering wildly as Owen steps on the stage. The championship belt proudly draped over his shoulder. Fireworks explode in the rafters as Owen makes his way down the ramp, slapping hands with fans, soaking the moment of his long-awaited triumph. Take a good look, folks. The era of Owen Hart has officially begun. After years of fighting for respect, years of being overshadowed, Owen Hart stood tall at Riotfest, defeating Stone Cold Steve Austin in one of the greatest main events we've ever seen. And now he's got that Renegade World Championship to prove it. Owen steps to the ring, raises the championship high above his head before grabbing a microphone. Man, this feels good. Another loud pop. For my entire career, people told me I couldn't do it, that I'd never be the guy. They said I'd always be second place, always chasing someone else's legacy. But at Riotfest, I proved every single one of them wrong. I went to war with one of the toughest SOBs this business had ever seen, and I walked out with this. He lifts the championship high again. And I'm damn proud to say that Owen Hart is your Renegade World Champion. The crowd erupts in cheers again, chanting, Owen, Owen, before suddenly, out walks Jeff Jarrett, dressed in his signature sunglasses and fat, flashy jacket. A smirk on his face, he makes his way down the ring, microphone in hand. Owen, first I gotta say, congratulations. You did what very few men could have done. You went on one-on-one with a Stone Cold Steve Austin, and you beat him for that world championship. That's impressive, man. And you deserve every bit of this moment. The crowd gives a respectful applause to Jarrett nods. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. You see, Owen, now that you got that title, everybody's going to be gunning for you. And I know you're not the type of guy to back down from challenge. So what do you say? Me and you for that championship? The crowd pops to the possibility of Owen versus Jeff Jarrett. But before Owen can respond, The roof explodes as Stone Cold Steve Austin storms out on the stage, looking as fired up as ever, with a mic in hand. Austin marches down to the ring, staring daggers at both men inside, climbs through the ropes and wastes no time getting to business. Owen, I ain't out here to play games, and I sure as hell ain't out here to waste time. I came down here to do one thing, and that's look you in the eyes and shake your goddamn hand, and tell you, you beat me fair and square at Riotfest. A murmur of surprise from the crowd as Austin extends his hand. Owen looks around cautiously before shaking it, prompting cheers from the fans. But Austin doesn't let go immediately. He pulls Owen in closer and grins. That's the good news. The bad news, I don't take losses lightly. You see, Owen, you got your moment, you got your celebration, but now it's time to prove that it wasn't just some damn fluke. So since you're a fighting champion, let's run it back. Next week, Owen Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin for the world title. The crowd erupts and Owen smirks, nodding his head. You want a rematch? You got it. The crowd explodes again as Austin nods in approval. Jarrett shakes his head in frustration, clearly annoyed that Austin jumped ahead of him in line. Meanwhile, Owen raises his championship high as the match is officially set for next week. Oh my god, it's happening! The rematch is set! Next week live on Riot. Owen Hart defends his newly won Renegade World Championship against Stone Cold Steve Austin. And something tells me that this match is going to be just as explosive as Riotfest. The camera lingers on the tension between Owen, Austin, and a frustrated Jarrett as the segment comes to a close. Christian makes his way down onto the stage, arms outstretched as he soaks in the reaction from the crowd. He's all business tonight. Christian marches down the ramp, smirking as he glances at the fan before rolling to the ring. He climbs the turnbuckle, pounding his chest and pointing at himself before hopping down and grabbing the microphone. Alright, let's get one thing straight. I should have been at Riotfest, but for some reason, the powers that be decided to leave Captain Charisma off the biggest show of the year. That's fine, because tonight, I remind everyone just who the hell I am. So Mick, get your little mystery opponent out here so I can show the world that I belong at the top of this country. The crowd buzzes in anticipation as Kristen tosses the microphone aside. A few seconds pass before the lights dim slightly. The crowd erupts as Bryan Danielson steps onto the stage, looking laser focused. He surveys the crowd before nodding to himself and making his way down the ramp. Whoa, are you kidding me? Bryan Danielson is here in Renegade Wrestling, one of the hottest free agents in the world, a man known for his technical brilliance, for his unmatched intensity. Christian might have just made a big mistake tonight. Danielson slides in the ring, removing his jacket and stretching against the ropes, and Christian looks at him with a mix of annoyance and amusement. Ladies and gentlemen, the next contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, weighing at 227 pounds, Christian. The crowd gives a mixed reaction as Christian poses with a cocky smirk. And his opponent, making his Renegade Wrestling debut, from Aberdeen, Washington, weighing at 210 pounds, Bryan Danielson. A massive cheer erupts as Danielson raises a single fist in the air before rolling his wrist, preparing for action. Referee signals for the bell, ding ding. They begin circling each other, but Christian underestimates the newcomer as he goes for a lockup. Danielson, however, quickly transitions into a standing switch, taking Christian's back and tripping him to the mat. He floats over, trying to apply an early crossface, but Christian scrambles the ropes, visibly frustrated. The match continues with Christian using his experience and underhand tactics to gain control, grounding Danielson with a backbreaker and wearing him down with a sleeper hold. However, Danielson refuses to stay down, rallying him back with stiff elbows. Once he breaks free, Danielson would begin to light up Christian with kicks that echo through the arena. A flurry of offense follows as Danielson lands a German suplex, a running corner drop, and then transitions into the label lock. Christian panics, clawing for the ropes, managing to reach them just in time. The referee forces the break and Christian rolls to the outside to regroup. But Danielson dives through the ropes with a suicide dive. The crowd roars as Danielson rolls Christian back in the ring. He climbs to the top rope. Danielson leaps for that missile dropkick, but Christian moves. Christian capitalizing, sets up Danielson for that unprayer. He hooks Danielson's arms, but Danielson fights out, shoving Christian chest first in the corner. As Christian stumbles backwards, Danielson seizes the moment. He hooks Christian's arms and he rolls him up tight. 1, 2, 3, ding ding ding! The crowd explodes. Danielson pulls out off the upset victory. Here's your winner, Bryan Danielson. Christian sits up in complete shock, staring at the referee in disbelief, as Danielson rolls out of the ring, raising his arm in triumph. Oh my god, Bryan Danielson just beat Christian. What a statement for the newcomer. This kid is the real deal. Christian still in the ring, kicks the bottom rope in frustration, yelling at the referee about his supposed fast count. Meanwhile, Danielson stands at the top of the ramp, pointing at Christian and mouthing anytime, anywhere. Let's cut commercial. Camera cuts to the backstage interview area where Missy Hyatt stands with a microphone in hand. Standing next to her is the Renegade National Champion, Booker T. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the new Renegade National Champion, Booker T. The cheers grow loud as Booker nods, adjusting the title on his shoulder. Booker, Riotfest was the biggest night of your career. You overcame the odds and defeated Triple H to capture the national championship. But tonight, just 3 days later, you're stepping right back in the ring with a game, in a rematch. How are you feeling heading into tonight's main event? Booker takes a deep breath. Missy, let me tell you something, dog. Riotfest was my night. I walked to that ring with a deck stacked against me, with a club breathing down my neck, with a man like Triple H, one of the dirtiest players in the game, do everything in his power to keep me down. But guess what? I didn't just survive. I thrived, and now look at me, national champion, sucker. But tonight, oh yeah, tonight, I already know how this game goes. Triple H ain't just gonna take this L and move on. Nah, he's coming harder, dirtier, more desperate than ever. He's gonna pull every trick in the book, have his little boys watch his back and think that just because I won at Riotfest, I don't got another one in me. Well, let me tell you something. I ain't done fighting yet. I've been fighting my whole life. If Triple H thinks he can step up and take this title from me tonight, he's got another thing coming. The crowd pops again as Booker gets even more fired up. Tonight is round 2, dog, and I promise you this. When it's all said and done, when the smoke clears, and when that bell rings, the champ is still going to be standing tall, holding this gold up high. And you know what that means, huh? Tell him, Missy. Missy grins as she raises the microphone. I think it means one thing, Booker. Can you dig it, sucker? Booker lets out a signature laugh before throwing up his 5 fingers. Oh, yeah! With that, he walks off fired up. Oh, you feel it. Booker T is locked in, and Triple H better be ready for a fight tonight. This ain't over by a long shot. If you thought Riotfest was big, just wait till these two throw down once more tonight. Cut a commercial. Crowd is buzzing with anticipation as Michael Buffer stands ready. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your main event of the evening, and it is scheduled for one fall, and it is for the Renegade National Championship. The arena lights dim as the crowd erupts with boos. Triple H emerges from the back, spitting water in the air. The club, Shawn Michaels, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash follow closely behind. Triple H, with a focused look on his face, walks to the ring. Introducing first, the challenger, weighing at 255 pounds, from Greenwich, Connecticut, Triple H. The light shifts to a golden hue and the crowd explodes with cheers as Booker makes his entrance, the Renegade National Championship shining proudly on his shoulder. And his opponent, weighing in at 256 pounds, from Houston, Texas, he is the Renegade National Champion, Booker T. This is it, folks. Booker T has been preparing for this since the moment he won that title. And tonight he's got to go through Triple H again to prove he's the champion. The bell rings and both men lock up in the center of the ring. They exchange a series of technical holds and counters, but Booker quickly gains the upper hand with a series of arm drags and a drop kick. The crowd is solidly behind Booker, cheering him on as he continues to press the attack. Triple H, frustrated, rolls to the outside to regroup. Shawn Michaels, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash begin to taunt Booker from ringside, and the referee tries to maintain order. As the club distracts Booker, Triple H sneaks up, drags Booker out of the ring, and sends him crashing into the steel steps with a vicious Irish whip. The crowd boos loudly as Triple H tosses Booker back into the ring, giving Booker no time to recover. The match continues as Triple H starts to gain the upper hand, wearing down Booker with a series of knee drops and elbow smashes. But Booker fights back with a series of right hands and a big spinning heel kick that stuns the challenger. Booker sets Triple H up for the scissors kick, but as Booker hits the ropes, Shawn Michaels would grab Booker's foot, causing the national champion to stumble. Booker would yell at Michaels before turning around and right into a spine buster from Triple H. Triple H would lock in the pedigree, and it looks like it could be over. However, at the last second, the referee is distracted by a ruckus outside. Big Time, Big Show, and Big Van Vader are rushing down the ramp. The club and Big Time begin a brawl at ringside. The club turns their attention to Big Time and begin to brawl with them on the outside. The numbered games are against them, when suddenly, Sting arrives. Sting joins the brawl, siding with the Big Time against the club. As the distraction continues, Booker T capitalizes on the chaos, manages to break free from Triple H's grasp. He kicks Triple H in the gut. The Cavalry, Sting and Big Time have arrived. Triple H is on his own now, and you know what that means. Booker's about to hit something big. Booker hits the ropes and nails Triple H with that scissor kick, sending the challenger sprawling to the mat. The crowd erupts as Booker hooks the leg for the cover. The referee slides in. 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding, ding. The bell rings and the crowd erupts into cheers. Booker T has successfully defended his national championship against Triple H. The referee raises Booker's hand in victory, and the crowd chants his name. Here's your winner, and still Renegade National Champion, Booker T. Booker stands tall, holding his title aloft as the crowd continues to cheer. On the outside, the club gather and retreat up the ramp to the back, leaving Booker to celebrate with Big Time and the Stinger. What a match. What a moment. Booker T is still your Renegade National Champion. He fought through hell to get there. Triple H had his chance, but in the end, it was Booker T who came out on top. The show ends with Booker holding his title high, surrounded by Sting and Big Time. This has been an FWA Network podcast production.